My awareness of these matters grew as I worked on different aspects of ancient and medieval history. In one instance, writing a long analysis of all known outbursts of anti-Semitic violence in both Europe and Islam, spanning the period 500 through 1600. Eventually, this work forced me to reconsider the entire link between Christianity and anti-Semitism. Keep in mind that through the many centuries there have been a huge number of Roman Catholic clergy, some of them saints, some of them opportunists, some of them devout, some of them corrupt, many of them ignorant, a few of them atheists, and even an occasional howling lunatic. Not surprisingly, some of these clergy did believe that God hated all the Jews, and even a few may have gotten involved in outbursts of anti-Semitic violence. But, as it will be seen, such views and actions did not have official standing and did not reflect the normal behavior of Catholic clergy toward Jews. To the contrary, the clergy often defended local Jews from attacks, sometimes risking their own lives by doing so. Inventing anti-Semitism. Let's begin at the start. Many contemporary scholars charge that the Church originated anti-Semitism. The celebrated feminist theologian, Rosemary Ruther, has even claimed that the Church must bear a substantial responsibility for a tragic history of the Jew in Christendom, which was the foundation upon which political anti-Semitism and the Nazi use of it was erected. Jules Isaac struck the same chord. Without centuries of Christian catechism, propaganda, and vituperation, the Hitlerian teachings, propaganda, and vituperation would not have been possible. And, according to Robert T. Osborne, Christians have been anti-Jewish and anti-Semitic, apparently from the beginning. These charges are based on passages in the New Testament that attack the Jews for rejecting Christ and for persecuting Christians. Although all of the scholars who believe that the Christians invented anti-Semitism knew that deep hostility toward Jews existed long before the birth of Jesus. Perhaps because of their antagonism toward the early church, scholars dismissed what the ancients sometimes felt toward the Jews as merely antipathy. It did not amount to anything lasting or basic, such as what might be called anti-Semitism, but was momentary, arising entirely from political conflicts, such as the Maccabean Revolt. In fact, these negative feelings toward Jews were only sporadic, mere isolated pockets of distemper. In contrast, they claimed real anti-Semitism was deep and abiding, something entirely new introduced by Christianity and born of Christian arrogance and ambition. If this were so, then many leading Roman intellectuals must have been secret Christians. It was the great Roman philosopher and statesman, Lucius Annaeus Seneca, 4 BCE to 65 CE, who denounced Jews as an accursed race and condemned their influence. It was Marcus Tullius Cicero, 106 to 43 BCE, regarded as the greatest Roman orator, who complained that Jewish rites and observances were at variance with the glory of our empire and the dignity of our name. It was the esteemed Roman historian Cornelius Tacitus, 56 to 117 CE, who railed against the Jews because they despised the gods and called their religious practices sinister and revolting. Not only that, according to Tacitus, the Jews had entrenched themselves by their very wickedness, and they sought increasing wealth through their stubborn loyalty to one another. He remarked, "But the rest of the world they confront with hatred reserved for enemies." I am unable to detect how Tacitus's complaints differ from standard modern anti-Semitism, as it usually is defined and measured. Nor was it only a matter of words. The Jews were expelled from Rome in 139 BCE by an edict that charged them with attempting to introduce their own rights to the Romans and thereby to infect Roman morals. Then, in 19 CE, Emperor Tiberius ordered the Jews in Rome to burn all their religious vestments and assigned all Jewish males of military